This year's Monster Pods are brought to you by the Kentucky Derby Betting Challenge and our friends over at twinspires.com. The KDBC is back this year with a guaranteed $250,000 purse. Head over to twinspires.com today, click the tournaments tab, and get all the information you need on how to buy in or qualify for horse racing's newest major tournament.
Riley, what's going on?
Everything's good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, hey, look, you have two Derby horses. It makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about that first. It's been since 2019 when you were an assistant for your father when you had Country House, who was put up in the Derby. 7 years later, you have two runners of your own. I would imagine that's pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. I've been so passionate about horses and horse racing since I was, 5, 6, 7 years old. So, if you're not dreaming of Derby week, potentially making it with a couple starters, you got to check your pulse. I think it's something we all work so hard for, and everyone puts a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So, just feeling really fortunate and humbled just to, not only be in the mix, but I think having a couple horses that I think are, outside contenders.
All right, so let's talk about Incredibolt first, which I remember when I saw you at the Eclipse Awards, and I'd let you know that Eric DeCoster, who makes our top 10 list, had Incredibolt on our top 10 list. I'm sure before a lot of people did very early. Talk about his progression. He had that race going 2 turns last year as a 2-year-old where he won impressively, and then he comes back and gets the Virginia Derby going a mile and an eighth. What do you expect out of him?
Well, I'd expect a good effort. I think, even with the 7 weeks between races, I think he's very tight in his fitness. I think he's looking well. I think he's got a good bottom and foundation in him, of course, having, 2 races already this year. But in his workouts since the Virginia Derby, he's really had some strong pieces of work, particularly in his gallop outs. He always gallops out very strong. So I'm confident, even with the bit of time between races, and third race in the form cycle. Some people use that angle in their handicapping. So he just turned 3 this month. Actually, he's an April foal. So a horse that I anticipate and hope keeps improving.
And then how about Albus? I would guess probably a little bit more of a surprise. I think Incredible was probably on more people's radar, and then Albus wins the Wood Memorial.
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming into 2026, the horse is still a maiden. He's a horse we always thought a lot of as a 2-year-old. He and Incredible were both sort of our top 2-year-old prospects. He's a May foal, actually won't turn 3 until after the Kentucky Derby. So a horse that, we thought he would be a little bit later developing, which he has been. And coming off a maiden win at Tampa into the Wood Memorial was no easy task. I sort of threw him to the wolves a little bit, but it was the time of the spring that you really have to find out where some of these 3-year-olds belong and if they can compete with the big boys. And to see him step up first time against winners and win the Wood in the fashion that he did was really encouraging to me, albeit a slow time and some slow, speed figures. I think he did it the right way and looked like there was room to improve to me.
All right, so every parent can handle this question very. Who do you like more? I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're both different horses in their running styles. I compare Incredible to sort of a sports car. He's always there for you and at your fingertips, and sort of can really be wherever you want him to be. Whereas Albus is kind of more of a grinder. He's shown a little bit of speed in a few of his races, but I think he's just got such a workman-like type of running style. So they are different. I think, I think Incredibolt is more of a dynamic type of horse in that he can just lay close and he's got quick acceleration. So I think both running styles are conducive for the Derby, and I do believe both will get the 10 furlongs, but we need to put them in the gate and see if they can do that.
Riley, we appreciate the time and best of luck with your first 2 Kentucky Derby runners.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.